Dunwall is changing fast. 6 months ago, Draper's Ward was where Dunwall's rich and well-born strolled and shopped and tried to be seen. The plague burned through it in days. Today it's a battleground where 2 street gangs fight over the spoils. The Hatters and Lizzie's gang, the Dead Eels. Lizzie Stride was the boss until Edgar Wakefield betrayed her and took her place. And her riverboat. It's the kind of thing that happens every day in Dunwall. I don't judge him. I've done worse myself. But I need that boat. Edgar Wakefield and I have business.
The textile mill used to run off a water wheel before the canal went dry. It started up again recently, and whatever the Hatters did to get it working has enraged the Dead Eels. They're fighting in the streets.
It was a scene that had become too common amongst Dunwall. Gangs at each other's throats, all over territory that had long since lost its wealth. For such a district to fall, it seemed there was nowhere safe in Dunwall anymore. Dowd was on the front lines, but he wasn't there to fight on the behalf of one of the gangs, and he didn't need the trouble of being spotted, so he stayed in the shadows. Luckily, there was a lapse in the fighting, allowing Dowd to get closer to the Dead Eels and Lizzie's boat, the Undine. On the next apartment over, he found the resident cowering in fear. Dowd quickly learned why.
Who are you? Are you with her?
With her?
Delilah. Are you with her? No, but you don't have any roses.
What can you tell me about Delilah?
I used to make clothing for the Caldwins, you see. I adored them, especially young, precocious Emily. She was such a delight. Did you ever meet the Empress? She was so special. And I was able to count her among my friends. I had a lock of hair from young Emily, a keepsake given to me by the family when my hands grew too stiff and clumsy to work the needle. I have treasured it so.
And Delilah?
She visited me here. Such a surprise to see her, all grown up. So serious. Did you know she was once a playmate of Jessamine's? Before she was Empress, when they were both little. I thought it was a cordial visit at first, but it turned frightening.
What happened?
She made things come out of the shadows, long and grasping. I can still feel the cold on my neck. I sound mad, don't I? Perhaps I am. She questioned me and left me propped in the corner like a bolt of cloth. I couldn't move for 3 nights. She made the horrid markings you see now. Then she stole my only keepsake, my lock of hair from dear, sweet Emily. Ah, Emily, where are you? Damn that Corvo, and damn Delilah.
A lock of Lady Emily's hair. It was important enough for Delilah to leave the safety of the Brigmore estate, for her to retrieve it personally. There was no doubt this was tied to the witch's master plans, but Dowd couldn't begin to guess how. But if the heir to the throne was involved, Dowd had even more cause for concern.
Edgar Wakefield is on board the Undine. He's put all of the Eels on alert since Lizzie's rumored to have escaped from Coldridge. He's expecting her. You will undoubtedly be a surprise to him.
Finally reaching the riverfront, Dowd got his first sight of Lizzie's gang, still adapting to their new leader. It might be more of a challenge to get to Wakefield if he knew someone was coming.
There's the boat. Wakefield's probably keeping himself below decks. Whatever I do to him, it will be a mercy compared to what Lizzie has in mind.
A mercy indeed. Dowd had decided only to subdue Wakefield and let Lizzie decide his ultimate fate.
Wakefield sealed himself in the cargo hold of the Undine. Smuggling ships like this one often have a hatch underneath for dumping contraband if they get caught. Perhaps the Undine is no different.
This was a better approach. He doubted the Dead Eels would be watching the waters, with the Hatters so close to their doorstep.
Dowd, this is the second time now. I see something, or someone, out of the corner of my eye. But when I turn, they're gone. Someone is watching us.
Who could it possibly be? Delilah wasn't an idiot, and knew it was only a matter of time before Dowd would get to Brigmore. After breaking Lizzie out of jail, it wasn't difficult to piece together Dowd's plan, so Delilah would have sent her witches to spy on him and send forewarning. Just as he thought, there was a contraband hatch, and within was Edgar Wakefield.
Smaller than I remember.
Taking him out quietly, Dowd climbed to the bridge to signal Lizzie that his work was done. She gave a speech to her gang, demanding her conspirators sever their fingers as a punishment and give Dowd no trouble. After this, she explained a new problem to Dowd.
That piece of garbage, Edgar. I'm still living with his incompetence. He let the Hatters cripple the Undine.
Ship seems fine to me.
They took the engine coil. We're dead in the water.
What is it? Can we make a new one?
They don't make them anymore, not for an engine like the Undine's. We'll have to get it back.
The geezer still leads the Hatter gang, right? I'll pay him a visit.
It won't be that easy. There's a snag.
Always is. What's this one?
The geezer's about 100 years old by now. He's got it rigged so that if he dies, the whole place gets gassed. So they're real careful around him. Got him a nurse and everything. Maybe you can cut a deal for that engine coil. Turn on the charm. One of the Hatters gave me their door password in exchange for keeping the rest of his fingers. It's whalebone. I never got to use it on account of the gas. And being in jail.
Just be ready to move when I get back.
Now it was the Hatter's turn for Dowd to intercept. It had been a while since he dealt with him, and it sounded like a lot had changed. He would have to be on his guard.
What's the password?
Whalebone.
Come in, Hatter.
Sir, the Hatters are using the textile machines to make shrouds for the plague dead.
Now we know why they took the engine coil.
The man who runs the Hatters is more cunning than he looks. He can flood this place with a toxic gas. In time, it'll eat through our air filters. You may have to make a deal.
Wakefield's miscalculated badly. I predicted this would happen, of course. A man like Wakefield knows which end of a knife is for stabbing, but not much else. What's that? Oh, stop complaining, old man. I'm giving you a legacy. What were the Hatters before I arrived? I'll tell you. A shadow of their former selves. The butt of numerous jokes, in fact. Why did the Hatter piss in his own hat? What did the Hatter do with his last bullet? And so on. The answers aren't worth repeating. Leadership. That's what was missing. What with the embarrassing defeat at the hands of the Bottle Street Boys of all things.
This whole place is gone to the house.
My name's Dowd. I'm looking for Lizzie Stride's missing engine coil. I'm giving you a chance to make a deal.
Yes, sir. Very reasonable offer. Geezer here says you're in luck. We only need that engine coil because someone shut off the flow that turns our water wheel. I sent men into the sewers to restore the flow and not one of them came back. But what stopped them won't be a problem for the famous Dowd, will it? When the water flows, I'll give you the engine coil. Here's the key to the sewer entrance. And it's a pleasure to do business with you, Mr. Dowd. The Hatters will behave.
Sneaking his way up to the geezer's office, Dowd instead found him being cared for by Nurse Trimble. In the geezer's state, it was Trimble who spoke for the gang leader, but Dowd could see who was really in charge. Trimble was not trustworthy, but he had no reason to mistrust Dowd, who was offering his skills willingly. Descending into the sewers to solve the water flow problems, Dowd found more than just weepers and rats. A young lady lay on the platform, pleading for help. She lamented that her son had fallen into the sewers and couldn't be found. If Dowd hadn't been the knife at Dunwall, he may have been fooled. But the woman's veiled face, the enlarged green veins and the pale skin were more telling of the woman's true purpose. Delilah knew he'd come here.
My little boy, he's not well, and I fell down here.
Indeed, more witches lurked behind cover. Two were in his path deeper into the sewers, whilst another spoke to a statue of Delilah.
The gangs are at each other's throats. Dowd is mired here. You'll have the time you need. And the portrait of the girl, is it? Excuse me, my lady. You're right. I should not have asked.
Dowd. Lurk told me you wouldn't give up. Even as she knelt before me and gave me all your secrets. I know what you're doing, Dowd. I know what that mark on your hand is. Just like the one on mine. I know everything you can do, and it won't matter. 4 of us chosen, but history will only remember one. Delilah.
If they remember any of us.
It didn't take much for the gangs of Dunwall to be at each other's throats, and all Delilah had to do was urge the two sides to delay Dowd, to buy her time. The witches had got into the Hatters sent down there before Dowd. They would have to be taken out before the water could be released again. Once that was done, he grabbed the valve whilst avoiding weepers, and brought the water back to the textiles mill. His job was done. On his way out, he found a shrine to the outsider. He continued to find these in the strangest of places.
You're putting it together, aren't you? It's not easy. Delilah's exceedingly bright. Her coven is rising, with her as the night star to guide them. Change is coming, and Delilah has a plan. But do you, Dowd? And I don't mean stealing an engine coil or slitting an old man's throat. You're charging upriver, and I do believe you'll make it. But what will you do with what you find there?
As cryptic as ever, the outsider seemed to promise great change in the near future. Although less threatening, he made it clear Dowd was at the center of all this mess, as much as Delilah was.
It's done, but I don't think you'll see your men again.
Says a deal's a deal. The code is 387.
The engine coil was his. Soon he would be on his way to Brigmore. Finally, he could seek out Delilah where she thought she was safe. Finally, Dowd would get to witness her at her full power and discover her terrible plan. Could Dowd stop her? Could the knife of Dunwall save the Empire? Find out next time on Tell Me a Story. If you enjoyed today's tale, please leave a like and share it with your friends. Remember to subscribe so you don't miss what happens next.